Okay. So, hello everyone. Hey Bart.
Hey,
Long time no see.
long time no see.
So, this is the very intro about the monkey patching podcast.
The very first episode of the Monkey Patching Podcast.
The very first. So, maybe what is the monkey patching podcast, Bart? How would you describe it?
For people that know us already, they know that we were recording the Data Topics podcast,
Yes.
which was linked to Dateroots as a company.
Yes.
And that now I left Dateroots since a few weeks.
Sadly, you know.
And that we still want to continue. And that
Exactly.
we now have this independent podcast called Monkey Patching Podcast,
Yes.
episode 1.
Episode 0.
0. Oh, we started 0.
Yeah, I started 0.
We
Come
started-
on.
Okay. That makes sense. Like the monkey patching is a concept that comes from Python, right?
Yes.
Python
Is it
starts
Python?
counting
Is
at
it
0.
Python exclusive?
Good question. I've always heard it referred to in Python context.
Yeah.
But monkey patching, for the people that don't know it, monkey patching basically means that at runtime you change stuff. Like typically, is this like you have a Python class, for example, and you make an instance of that class.
Yeah.
And let's say you have a method in that class that you can call, and that at runtime you change whatever logic in that method, which is typically a bit frowned upon, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's not very transparent.
It's not very transparent. It's used, I think, more practically for unit testing a lot, to mock stuff and stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's used in production, which is a bit frowned on.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a podcast that often you can be happy about. Sometimes you're going to be frowned upon a bit.
We don't promise anything, you know? It's probably going to be okay.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like in Brazil, that's why we would say gambiarra, you know? It's like you just figure it out on the way.
Huh?
It works, don't touch it. And I think it's also... It's a
Oh.
bit the spirit, you know? Like we're going to figuring things out as we go at runtime.
And we're fully independent, so there's no topic that we cannot discuss.
I wasn't sure how much before, how many topics we couldn't discuss. But yeah, so this will be weekly,
Yeah.
right? The idea is to-
Weekly, live from Marilo's closet.
one day will come out.
We are, it's sort of like, can you describe where we are?
It's
How do you call this room?
it's a guest room, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah,
This
guest
is
room.
in the guest room.
In Dutch, you
live
say
from
logeerkamer.
Logeerkamer, yeah.
I see.
Guest room.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, not really live, right? Recording from.
Recording, yes.
Recording from
But who
Marilo's
knows?
guest room.
Maybe we'll do it live,
Yeah.
right? One thing we're also playing with is a video form. So actually, we will have video form.
Yeah.
The idea for people who have never heard us is to have 4 to 8 topics. So we cover the news as well, discuss a bit. Then maybe it's not going to be super news, but stuff that caught our attention, and then we can cover and discuss a bit what we saw. Maybe we'll send a newsletter, maybe not. So the future is it's an oyster. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, for the people that were following data topics, I think it's more or less the same concept. We're going to
Yeah.
try to be a little bit more.
Maybe data topics unplugged, because
Data
now
topics
the
unplugged,
the
true.
branding may continue. There was also before and
Yeah.
after, but data topics unplugged. Is for sure.
That's a bit what we did, right? Like we did a bit of like weekly discussions on what's new in data and AI, what's new in tech-related business.
Sometimes soap. Sometimes we talked about soap.
Sometimes we talked about soap. That sounds true. Soap bars. But we're going to try with the Monkey Patching podcast to be a little bit more diligent on preparation. So we
Yeah.
really have like 4 to 8 articles that we will like do a small quote from, and then free form discussion on.
Yeah, indeed.
And we might also have sessions with guests, etc. That is still a little bit to be seen. But for now, the priority is making a start.
Exactly.
Right.
So I think, starting sometimes is tricky. So I think sometimes let's just get the ball rolling,
Yeah,
and then we see how
Exactly.
it goes.
Yeah.
But we will have a video form, because often, if you heard from the data topics as well, we would share links and share the screen sometimes. Not super focused. So if you're just listening and you may want to check out the video form as well, because we'll have some stuff there. And we'll always add all the links to everything we put on the show notes as well. Maybe before that as well, Bart, who are we for people that haven't heard the data topics unplugged? Who are you, Bart?
Ooh, I'm going to let you take the lead.
Oof, okay. Okay. Maybe we are in Belgium. We're located in Belgium.
Yeah.
I'm from Brazil. That's why I was referring to the Brazilian gambiarra. Been here in Belgium for over 5 years, I want to say. Still learning Dutch. It's one of the official languages for people who don't know. Next to French as well. So learning French. But anyways, yeah, I still work at Dataroots. I'm leading the tech initiatives at Dataroots, let's say.
What is Dataroots?
Dataroots is a consultancy in data and AI. I'll just leave it at that. But so yeah, doing technical stuff, sometimes more, sometimes less, but always staying up to date with all the things. Yeah, I'm not sure what else is interesting. That's about it. Brazilian, work at Dataroots.
It's a little bit about me. I'm Dutch. So we're both in Belgium, and none of us is Belgian.
Yeah, it's true.
I'm Dutch originally. Have been in Belgium for I want to say maybe already 20 years by now. No, a little bit shorter, between 15 and 20.
Okay.
I have been a data scientist / data engineer for a very long time. Let's say 10 years now to make the role official. I think before that we didn't really use these terms.
No, or just like programmer.
Yeah. And then 8 years ago I founded Dataroots, where we were discussing. We had a lot of different roles there, often a bit of a technical focus. And then now 4 weeks ago, I exited Dataroots, and now I'm a bit looking towards the future, what I will do.
Yeah.
So I'm more or less technically unemployed now. Right?
Yeah.
So we have Murillo, the CTO, and an unemployed guy. And we're,
But you're
I can put podcaster on my LinkedIn tag.
Oh yeah, for
tagline
sure.
now.
For sure.
Yeah.
Influencer.
Yes. Okay. Great.
Check.
Yeah.
But I think we're both, you're also very technical. You're always doing stuff, right? Like not just data science stack, let's say, but even like JavaScript, all these other things, these other fun things, right?
Not sure if that's really like...
Yeah, I'm not sure. You're one of the top R developers?
Oh, that's
Top-
a long
right?
time ago. No, I think that's a bit exaggerated. But I did a lot of open source R stuff, yeah.
But like GitHub didn't put you on the top 100? Belgium.
Oh, no, maybe top 100.
Top 100,
but at one time, maybe yes. At one time in my life, I was very active. Yeah.
But you did a lot of stuff, right?
Did a
I
lot
think
of
you
stuff,
mentioned
did a lot of open source packages.
Yeah,
but this is a long time ago.
in R.
Going now. In R, yeah.
Yeah.
I still do a lot of open source stuff.
In data,
So,
like recently, even the MCPs. So one things
yeah, people can check out my GitHub profile. Huh?
Yeah, it's true.
Bart6114.
Bart6114. There we go. Yeah, indeed. So a lot of cool stuff. We may tinker with stuff as well. We want to show some little things here and there. I know, Bart, you're into vibe coding. No, you were not. I don't know if you're into vibe coding.
I think vibe coding very quickly got a bad rap.
Yeah. But I think it doesn't sound serious, right?
It doesn't sound serious.
Vibe coding.
Yeah.
I think
it would be interesting. Like every episode, I will to see a bit like what are the projects that we're each working on, right?
Yeah, we could definitely do that.
Yeah.
You can, but by the way, side note, I try vibe coding, but I don't think I know how to vibe code yet. But I'm
I
still
can give you some tips and tricks.
Yeah. I think I need some tips and tricks. I think it's a skill I need to tap into.
But I
still.
think we should call it Gen AI assisted coding. Then suddenly it sounds.
Yeah,
like
that's
very,
true. That sounds more.
Yeah. Then you
or
know what you're doing.
If you just say AI assisted coding, sounds even.
Well, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds more
Yeah.
artificial intelligence. Yeah, sounds good. Vibe coding, even though vibe coding is fun. But anyways, we digress, and we may do this from time to time. Where do we want to go with this?
What is your ideal view? Like if you can be bold, like
Bold.
like make a bold statement about where you want to go
So
with the Monkey Patching podcast.
with the monkey patching, so definitely have a following, not following, but like knowing that people are listening to us, having external guests as well. I think one goal that would be interesting for us is to get sponsors, but more not for the sponsors per se, but it's more like if someone says, I would give you money to advertise whatever. I think it's a proxy for we're doing something good. We're doing something worthwhile. We're on the right direction. So it's more actually for that.
I agree.
But I think I also would like to have the podcast tied to something else, maybe like a platform for people to share, like something that can, I don't know, maybe people can, someone has a project they want to advertise or something like an initiative or startup, like something like that. That could be very interesting. But first and foremost, I think having fun, I think that's the goal.
I think that's also why we're doing this in our free time, right?
Exactly.
Just because it's fun.
Yeah. And I also think that this even before the data topics, we said that we were already talking. We found ourselves already talking about all these things that happen, like cool things, show these tips and tricks. So I think it's something that will come a bit natural to us. So it's like, that would be cool to record it. Why not?
Yeah.
What about you, Bart?
I hope one day, like if we're successful, but like with a lot of steps to take, I think we can be like a bit like the data and AI reference for like a conversational podcast in Europe.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
I don't think we really like you have, of course, you have a lot of European podcasts, but like there's no,
Yeah.
this is the one, right? But maybe
Yeah.
no one will be the one, but like one of the bigger, more conversational.
Yeah,
style,
conversational, like casual.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
yeah. I think a lot of them they're very. I don't know if serious is the right word because I don't know. I don't want to say that we're not serious, but I think
Yeah, it's a different style.
it's a
Like
different style.
yeah.
Yeah. No, that would be cool. That would be cool. It would be cool if we're the one at meetups and they're like, oh yeah, we do the data topic.
Yeah.
I know that podcast. Oh yeah, I know that.
Yeah, indeed, and like you say, like a bit of a platform to do other stuff with. I think that would also be cool. That like we maybe potentially we could have like with the newsletter you already mentioned. Like maybe we can like next to the podcast we can have a newsletter. Maybe next to those things we can actually organize a live event or something.
Yeah,
or-
it's true. Yeah. I like the idea of bringing people together.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
You know, so yeah.
And I think the because we discussed it before, I like the advertisement. I fully agree. Like, if there is someone willing to sponsor you, like, I mean, we're never gonna make big money with this, right?
Yeah.
But like, it's a way that like people believe in what you're doing. I think
Exactly.
that's a good like more very tangible KPI. Like, how many listeners do you have? Like,
Yeah, exactly.
do you have sponsors? Like, and I
Yeah.
think these type of
Yeah.
things, like, because we do put a lot of personal time in this, like, it's good to have a bit of view on where
Indeed.
we're heading, right?
Indeed. I think it would be exactly like it's a good signal that we're in the right direction.
Yeah,
Right. And I think it's more holistic than just looking at one number or another.
yeah.
You know. So
It
yeah.
would be a bit like having this discussion now, like a year from now, people listening to an episode, and then there's no sponsorship. Like,
Oh, I should. Yeah, but I think it's all. I mean, yeah. But like I said, I think
it's good to express, right?
yeah. But maybe the better way to say is like if someone voiced an interest to sponsor, because also if someone is offering to sponsor, it's not like we're just gonna say yes automatically. Depends also on what it is, right? I think it's
Yeah, I think you need to be maybe not believe, but not be against it,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
That is,
Yeah.
that is,
But I think also like I don't know how this goes, but like if the sponsors they want to have a better say on like what can be said on during the podcast, like you know, like
oh, I think that is
you know,
that's a no-go.
yeah, exactly.
Like
But
you
that's
want
what I
to
mean.
be completely independent.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So I think it's like there needs to be the right conditions.
Yeah, that I fully agree.
But I think even if someone just comes and says, "Hey," even if we say no to that person,
Yeah.
I think that's a good signal.
Yeah. But that I fully agree. Like if company X comes to us and then says we sponsor you, but you can't say anything negative about company X.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, right. That's a no.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I agree. Or like
need,
they say,
need to have this full
or
independence.
this company comes and says, "I would like to sponsor," but you cannot mention other tools that are
Yeah,
competing with
exactly.
that. Like I
Fully
think
agree.
that's
Fully
there.
agree. Yeah, that's a no.
Very cool. Okay, and where can people find us, Bart?
People can find us on monkeypatching.io. Well, at this point, while we're recording, it doesn't exist. but
it
I
will be
hope when
there.
we publish it, it will be there.
Yes, and if it's not there, you can always send an email. Send us an email
Yeah,
at
you sent me an email at bart@monkeypatching.io or Marilo with one L at monkeypatching.io.
yeah. Thanks. That's a good point. Maybe I should create the other one as well with two
It's
L's.
just an alias.
Yeah, just an alias to
Like
forward
with
it
1,
on.
2, and 3 L's. Just to be sure, right?
And no L's as well. Just
No L's.
yeah. You have a lot of domains, huh? As well. Talking about domains, huh?
I have. Well, it depends. What is a lot?
I don't know. What do you think the average? How many
I
domains? the
think that
average-
when you say someone has a lot of domains, it sounds a bit like a domain squatter.
yeah.
For me, it's more like, okay, I have this idea in my head. Yeah, this is really cool. It's going to be a fun project. I register the domain, and then I never get around to the project.
Never like. But you have to find it. Cause I have a hard time finding domain names. Like, cause actually I wanted one that I can kind of reuse for other stuff.
And what, don't you have your own personal one?
I have one.
What is it again? Murilo at?
No, because that's Murilo is too common. Murilo Cunha. So my full name is like Murilo Cunha Cesar Cunha, which is too long.
But it's like Murilo Cunha is like
It's just
Jan
super
Peters
popular.
in
Yeah,
Belgium,
it's like
right?
super,
Yeah.
popular. But it's funny because like, I mean, you know, probably because you probably looked me up and you found a whole bunch of Murilo Cunha.
Yeah.
But like everywhere I'm in Belgium, was like, yeah, this is super common. Like, really?
But there is this soccer player thing, right? Those one you always find if you look at.
Oh yeah, that's true. I think so. But I think it's Mateus Cunha.
Could be.
I'm not sure.
And
But Chris is very
but
popular.
you have your own website, right?
I have.
You're kind of trying to dodge it, right?
I don't think it's up yet because I think they still needed some work. But I have actually one. But I have two actually. But I want to keep on the DL.
What is the second?
Yeah, I'm not ready to
Okay.
share live yet. But one is Moody.dev. I found that Moody is actually quite easy to find.
Oh.
So yeah, Moody.dev.
My own, let's say, my own personal space is Bart's.space.
But you said it was too complicated. You have to explain it to people.
Yeah, I think it makes sense that it's Bart's like from Bart's his space.
Yeah.
But when I say it, it's my email address. And
It's like Bart's space.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
people think
think
it's
when you-
Bart.space.
Yeah, I think when you read it, it makes a lot of sense. It's like, oh yeah, that's clever. But like when you say it, maybe.
So yeah, Bart or Marilo at monkeypatching.io.
Yes.
And well, you can find us. You can tag us on LinkedIn as well, right? We'll maybe link our LinkedIn profiles on monkeypatching.io as well.
Yeah, for sure.
We have some contact details there.
And you can find us if you're listening to this. You found us somewhere, I guess. But if you can probably find us on every podcast player.
Every significant podcast platform, yes.
Yes. And for the video form, where they can find the videos?
It should be on YouTube.
YouTube,
Yeah.
at least.
I'm not 100% sure that this first one will already be up, but
Maybe not this
we're
one.
gonna try to have this up on YouTube. Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you wanna?
For now, well, if people, yeah, go ahead.
No, because we already started gathering topics to discuss. I feel like there's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff. Yeah.
I think for the first one, we have to also tone it down.
Yeah. It's we probably should keep this one.
This one like
short,
this.
but
This one like this.
but it's true. Like we used to record this weekly
Yeah.
up until I want to say 5-6 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and then. Like with the first week that we stopped recording, I was like, oh, okay, I have all these things. How am I gonna? Who am I gonna share this with?
Calling your wife, she's like, leave me alone. Your kids.
Normally we would send this stuff to each other, or we have a Notion page that we
add it there,
and everything. And I was
discuss,
like, oh shit, where do I share this? So yeah, there's but like it's crazy how much happened in AI and data in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, that's true.
It's hard to make a summary.
That's true. Yeah, it is.
It's hard to make a summary.
Like even if we had to recap this sabbatical that we
Yeah.
took, it would be really hard.
But it's because you have a huge amount of developments within AI and data,
Yeah.
but then you have also the whole political thing around this, the whole stuff in the US that does impact these big tech players that typically are involved in AI and
yeah, that's
much
true.
and,
That's true.
it's
That's true.
all these things at the same time going around.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. But that's why we won't run out of stuff to talk about. I think.
No,
Then-
and maybe because we're recording now, let's say we're gonna probably publish it still this week, but then you're gonna go on holiday.
Yes.
So when will be our first content episode? Maybe we should.
I think people can expect us weekly starting early June.
Early June, yeah.
Early
Voilà.
June.
And then we're gonna see a little bit with how we tackle the summer holidays, right? Maybe because we typically record when we're physically together. Maybe we're gonna do some remote stuff if need be, or we pre-record something, which is always a little bit more difficult because it's like we do it based on whatever happened this week, right?
It's a bit timely, right?
It's a bit timely, yeah.
Yeah. But we'll see. Maybe we have something more topic focused.
Yeah.
But we'll do our best to weekly.
And if people have any ideas on what else we can do, how we can shape stuff up, if they have interesting news about the week, if they want to be guest,
Yes.
just hit us up on one of our contact points, right? Which we will share on monkeypatching.io.
Yes.
And
All right.
we will have a jingle.
Yes, you have a jingle. You made the last jingle. So
I made the last jingle, but that's and I have the feeling you need to do something with monkey sounds now. Right? Maybe you can just make some monkey sounds now and I sample them.
maybe later.
Okay, I thought that would be cool. maybe two sounds.
Maybe. But like what? Maybe I'll make one, you make the other. But you start.
Oh, nice. Yeah, we can do something with this.
Yeah, look at this. Can't wait. I can't wait to see what you're gonna come up with. Good luck with that.
Okay.
And all right, thanks everyone for listening.
Thank you.
Looking forward to this, huh?
Definitely looking forward to this.
Yeah, it would be nice. So,
Thanks for listening.
ciao.
See you next time. Bye.